First, let's go to Senator Orin Hatch, of course, Republican from Utah. He chaired or was ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee from 1993 to 2005. He's now the ranking member on the Finance Committee. Hello, Senator.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, but I just saw you on CNN, and I want to add a little bit to what you were right on target. Chuck Todd of NBC News is reporting that it's the Democratic activist base, quote unquote, that was behind this, pressuring Obama and Reid to do this to take the focus off of and make up for the disaster of Obamacare.
Well, it's the hard left that Reid had to put up with, but he should have just said, no, we're not going to change the rules. We're not going to break the rules to change them. And we're certainly not going to do it this way. I think Harry should have been a stronger leader under the circumstances and not allowed them to do that. It's a real mistake. But between you and me, I think the real reason they did this is try and create a controversy so they can escape criticism for Obamacare, which is wrecking the country.
Well, I mean, they got in on this, and secondly, you guys have a great chance of taking back the Senate in a year, and then they'll be on the losing side of that. So why now?
Well, people who really think it through, and there were very few on the Democratic side who did, and there were a lot of people who know better over there, but just couldn't bring themselves to take on the leadership in the Democratic Party and Obamacare problems that we have, because they're killing our party, and they are, and they should be. That was a totally partisan bill. It was passed by them under a very belligerent, raw power basis. It was supported only by Democrats, and now it's blowing up in their face, not just because of the rollout. They ought to be able someday to get the rollout taken care of. They're never going to get that taken care of from the standpoint of safety of the information you give to them. Already they're seeing the fraudsters taking advantage of what they've done so far. And frankly, it's going to cost more than anybody ever dreamed possible. Keep in mind, all but 30 million people in our country, in other words, of 315 million people, there were 30 million without health insurance. 91% of the American people liked their health insurance before Obamacare. Why couldn't we just have concentrated on the 30% who didn't have health care and save us all of this tremendous increase? And in the process, the bill's not going to work anyway, because it is a totally lousy partisan bill that was crafted in Harry Reid's office.
Well, Senator, all these people, these idiots who are Americans who loved their health insurance and were satisfied.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't know any better. They had subpar plans from rotten apple insurance companies, and they were going to go bankrupt without coverage. You're just too stupid to know it.
Well, I have to say that they were better off then than they'll be after Obamacare. But to go back to the
well, Senator, I want you to hear something, because I want you to clear something up for me.
Okay.
The president, this filibuster change applies only to judicial nominations, correct? And appointments?
Oh no.
Everything.
Well, I think they excluded the Supreme Court, but they'll never be able to exclude that.
But you mean gun legislation? All legislative bills will now be subject to the same 51 vote threshold?
Well, that's the way I'm interpreting it, and I think well, let's face it, they just have to go through the routine again. And if Republicans take over, that's all they have to do. Now, they did exclude the Supreme Court. I guess they thought that they can keep the Supreme Court from ever having another conservative on it. But the Republicans have every right to do to them exactly what they've done in this case. Now, frankly, I'd like to avoid that. I think the Democrats have got to wake up over there and realize that, yeah, they're in trouble over Obamacare. That was not a justifiable reason to use raw political power.
All right, Senator, let me ask you this.
They're wrong here.
Senator, President Obama has unilaterally enforced laws and chosen not to enforce laws, changed the work provision of the welfare bill, immigration, no deportations, did not defend DOMA, did not, ordered them not to enforce DOMA. Now he's changing the Obamacare bill. When you couple those unconstitutional acts with this power grab, does it frighten you?
It certainly is a matter of great concern to me. Let me tell you. The American people need to know that these people are power hungry, and if they can't get their way through the Congress, which he has not been able to do in many instances, then he's going to do it through judicial power. And by putting 3 liberals on the D.C. Circuit Court, when the court is divided 4 the Republican nominees, 4 Democrat nominees, putting 3 more on and changing the power of that court. That court hears all the administrative law. That's all your environmental law and so many other things, all of the regulations and so forth. And they very seldom change the rules and regulations, and they're never going to change them now because the Democrats are going to control that, and the president will be able to legislate from that bench legislation that he could never, ever get through the Congress of the United States.
Senator,
and that's what's behind all this.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, it's immoral, it's wrong, it's very, very dangerous. Republicans are up in arms.
Is it impeachable, sir?
Well, that's I hate to ever get into impeachability unless there's a clear-cut case. But if you can't keep issuing executive orders and taking power away.
Senator,
from
I'm up against a hard break.
Okay?
Thank you so much, Senator Orin Hatch. I hope you'll come back on the Steve Malzberg Show.